call it, the alternator belt that I had them put on my car at Canadian Tire broke. And so I tried to drive on the battery and it cooked it. So I was very, very, kind of downtrodden, and I was riding down the road on my bike because my car was cooked. And I saw this mandolin case on the road, and I thought to myself, it's probably empty. And I kept riding. And then I thought to myself, what's wrong with you? And I went back, and there was a little mandolin in there. So I've had it ever since. But anyway, so with mandolin, it's two of each string. You see that? Okay. So it's exactly the same as a fiddle, but there's two of each string. And they call those choruses.
Would
Exactly
that
the
be
same note.
would
What's
that be
that?
would that be comparable to a 12-string guitar?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Right.
so it means that it's a lot tougher. So when you put your finger on the string, first of all, you're putting it on two strings. So that obviously that's a lot harder to hold down than one string. And also, they are not flat wound strings. You hear that? So that's a fiddle is flat wound. So the winding that goes around the string is flat. So you don't hear that. There's no friction at all when you run your finger up and down the fiddle string. It's completely flat. But with the mandolin string, it's what they call round wound. You can't really see it there, but it's a round piece of metal wrapped around the string. So it's really abrasive. So it really gives you calluses, big time. And I remember I was at my wife's aunt's place at Christmas one year, and I was playing my father-in-law's mandolin, a really nice little mandolin. And I was playing it for the whole couple of weeks, and my fingers, I couldn't even touch anything. They were so sore. So that's the only problem she's having, is it's tough to actually hold it down. And but she was doing great, and it was really fun. She learned D, G, and A. And that's pretty well enough for country music. Alrighty, let's get started and warmed up here. So let's see, let's pick a couple of keys. Let's work with the key. What did we do last time? We did D and we did A, right? Okay, let's do G tonight. Let's work on the key of G.
Correction. We did G and D, and I don't think we did A.
Oh, let's do A tonight. Good practice. Hard key.
I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is. It's on the fiddle. Now the nice thing is that on the upper part of the fiddle, the A and the E string, it's a walk in the park. It's really easy. It's just normal first position. But on the lower strings, you got to stretch that third finger to get the G sharp and the C sharp. And the C sharp is tough, so it takes extra work. Also, we deal with the low A, which is, like I said, the first step up from the bottom of the fiddle. And it's a ringer note, so we got to get to know it. Now, I'm just going to tune my fiddle up. There we go. She's working. Okay, so let's start off with a nice G major scale, and then we'll do some arpeggios. We'll do arpeggio inversions and some double stops. And then we'll pick something in the key of G and work it. Okay? So we'll start with the scale.
Or we're starting with G or A.
G. Oh, sorry. A.
Okay.
A. A major. Now there's your low A. Listen to that note. See if you can match that. Make sure she's comfortable, not pressing really hard or leaning back or anything like that. And we'll go up the scale. Okay, ready, go. Mine was perfect. I bowled a perfect game. How are you guys? Let's do it again. Starting note is everything. When you start a scale on a finger rather than a string, you gotta make sure it's in tune and comfortable. Okay, let's do it. Ready, go. Mine wasn't exactly perfect, but pretty close. You guys getting better? Good. Let's pick up the pace. Do it a little faster. Okay. Ready, go. Drop the arpeggio in there just to see how you get along. How did you get along? Not bad? Okay, let's spend some mindful time with the arpeggio. So nice and slow, you can tune to me. Excuse me, ready, go. Let's do it again right away. Ready, go. Feeling okay? Let's pick up the pace, do it a little quicker. Ready, go. Again. Now, let's take a couple of the problem notes from this arpeggio, because I noticed that pretty well every time I hit my C sharp there, I had to tune it. And it wasn't consistent. Now, I'm talking about slightly, but still. So let's take a look at that C sharp and play it together. So here it is in tune. So let's play that together and tune that note. There's a quality to it, definitely. It's like a shelf or something. Now let's try playing. So D, and then C sharp. Ready, go. Okay, how did you get along? Did you hit it the first try? The open D helps. It gives you a little bit of a triangulation for your ear. Let's try it again. Open D and then the C sharp. Ready, go. Is that better? Do it again one more time. Yeah. That was good for me. My first one was a little sharp. So that helps, that open string, any little reference to judge how far down to go. Now let's try G sharp. It's a strange sounding one. I always have trouble getting used to it. Okay, now let's try that open and then 3 thing with this note. So open A and then the G sharp. 2 attempts for me. Better. That one was good. Okay, so those are the problem notes in the key of A. A little bit more familiar with them now, I think. So let's try that arpeggio once more and see if it kind of is easier. There's your A. Okay. Ready, go. Do it again. Okay, how's everybody feeling so far? C sharp easier?
Well, coming down, it seems more difficult than it is going up for whatever
Always.
reason. I'm jumping or
Now
it's a
look at this.
guessing game almost.
Here's what you do. Look, you see that spacing?
Yeah.
That's what I do. I try to judge it against the 1.
Okay.
And it
Ah.
might even help you to put the 2 down as well, because then it's just kind of regular first position with a stretched 3.
Like that. Yeah.
Yep, that might work. That's the way that I do it. I just kind of judge the little gaps between your fingers. And they used to say you got to get used to the gaps on your fingers. So like if it's a big gap or if it's a small gap, depending on how big your fingers are.
Okay.
Okay, let's try
Yeah.
one more. And then we'll do the double stops. So one more arpeggi. Ready, go. Perfect game. Okay, now double stops. So the first one we're going to do is a hard one, but we might as well just get it over with. It's the 5th. So putting your 1 on the G and the D at the same time. Now, before we do long bows on it, let's do some short bows like this. See if you can hit the 2 strings at the same time without digging in too much and for that momentary little note. Okay, now let's try some long bows. My tuner loves fifths. It gives me this kind of nice curvy line down the middle. Very stable interval. So how's that sounding for you guys? Is it working? Okay, good. Now, let's try the next one. D1 open A. So let's try some short ones. Okay, now let's try some long ones. D1 and open A. It's a fourth. Another very stable interval. How's that sounding for you guys? It's good? Okay, now let's see what else. So we got that. Oh, let's do just open A, open E. It's a tough one, so it deserves some extra practice. Now let's try some short ones with this because the two strings are sensitive. So let's kind of try to be gentle and do some little short ones. It's so easy to come in for a crash landing on those two strings, my God. So you got to keep your knees bent, okay? Keep your knees bent. And remember to drop. And try it again. Ready? Go. Okay, let's try some long ones. Real nice long ones. And it's, you know, it's easy, but it's hard. That's what I say about that. Okay. Oh, okay. Now let's try C sharp and E. A2 and open E. It's a third. Now let's do some short ones. Now, do you guys find that when you hit that E string, the bow wants to bounce? Turn the bounce into more down bow. Move the bow so you feel it kind of give and try to go with that. Okay, that's how you get rid of that bounce. You feel it give, you feel it push into the string, and the string pushes back, and you kind of let that string push the bow back and let it go. Turn it into motion. Let's try it again. Now let's try some long ones. Now, an interesting thing about double stops is that when you get them really, really in tune, it's supposed to create a third note in your internal ear. basically in your head. And it does for me, definitely. So I get that in tune. I can't really pinpoint what note it is. It is in tune with the double stop. I guess it's an A. Yeah. And it's one of the signs that I've hit that double stop in tune, is if I hear that internal note in my ear, that A, kind of slam in, and I know it's good, and I don't have to sweat it. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys are hearing that, but it does happen with people, apparently. When you get them really in, it certainly does with me, when you get them really in tune, you'll get this other note in your head. It has to do with your sinuses and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, so that's that one. I find it's really powerful in that way. Now we have a couple of options here for the top. We can either go with an octave, which is of course really good to practice. Actually, maybe we'll do both. So let's do the octave. So that's E3 open A. Now that's a fun one to slide into. And the nice thing about an octave, sliding into an octave, is that the lower note, the string you're playing below, tells you when to stop. Hear that? So if I went too far, you can hear it big time. And whenever I slide into a note, I don't know if you can see my hand here, but when I slide into a note, I try to time the slide with the bow speed. See that? See that? Really fun. Really, it really brings a lot of life to the music. And I find it easier to tune for most people, because when you do hit the octave, you can hear it. And when you go past it, you can really hear it. Okay? So let's try a little bit of that octave. E3 open A. Okay, let's try some long ones. Okay, now let's do one more for fun, one that I really enjoy, and it's this one. It's kind of a country music one, but it's A2 and E3. That's an A and a C sharp. Sixth, it's called. It's got a beautiful sound, eh? Okay, and that's just a few of the double stops that you can do in the key of A. Also, there's this one. If you want to challenge yourself with the third finger stretching, this one here. So that's G3 stretch and D1, which is an E and a C sharp at the same time. I use it a lot when I'm playing songs with singers, because you can sit below the singer like that, really nice, and just play that double stop. It's really nice foundation. Okay? Okay, now let's see if we can do something in the key of A. I was thinking about maybe doing 2 tunes. So what have we got? We got lots of stuff in the key of A. We should start with something slow, maybe. Just look in the hard drive here. Okay. Oh, we did the 100 Pipers not long ago. We should do that. The Headlands! We should play that. It's been ages since we did the Headlands. And there's Deal Among the Tailors. We have lots of stuff in the key of A. Drowsy Maggie's not in A. Rolling Tree's good. I wonder if Tell Me Ma is in A. Let's start with the 100 Pipers. And did we do Cock of the North? So we could do 100 Pipers and Cock of the North. A 100 Pipers, oh my God. And they all want a tune. Cock of the North. 100 Pipers playing Cock of the North. There we go. Right, and say it right out of the Sandy book. Okay, so we're going to join them. Let me see how we're going to do that. Yeah, we'll do Cock of the North first. So we'll do Cock of the North twice, and then we'll do 100 Pipers twice, and then happiness will be achieved. Okay? Let's see if we can try this. Both there, I'd say. That should work. I'd say we can handle that. We'll take a little drink of water, and we'll do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now the last two notes of 100 pipers are a classic spot where you would do a double stop on both parts. And it would just be your A. You could just do the A and the E. Very simple way to do it. Or if you want to get fancy and impressive, you could do the octave. So, or do both. That's probably what you'd hear in Cape Breton. In Cape Breton, they always have the triple A. And Sandy used to do it too. We did it too. We all did. So how did you get along with the 100 Pipers in Cock of the North? Was it okay? Any problems or weirdness? Was it too fast?
The first one was okay for me. I don't know where I was when we did the 100 Pipers. I'm not that familiar with it.
Oh, let's go slow and let's kind of relearn it then. Because we didn't do it a whole lot. We only kind of touched on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go a little slower with that one. Let's do 100 Pipers a little bit slower. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Do it again. Faster! How'd you get along, guys? Getting better? Okay, cool. Take a little breather, and we're going to put them together one more time and pick up the pace just the tiniest bit.
On the cost of the North,
Yeah.
I have something that I missed. I know that bar 1 to bar 9 they're repeated, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
the rest of it is you just play it once, right? And then you go back to the top.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird looking, and I hate the endings on it. It's like the number 1 ending is stem down, number 2 ending is stem up on the first part.
What do you mean by stem down and stem up?
So on the first part of the Cock of the North there, the second line, third bar in, the first ending is the notes that have the stems that go down, and the second ending is the stems that go up. It's really confusing.
Oh, isn't that different? Okay. Yeah. All right.
They
Yeah.
used to do it in old books to save on typesetting.
Okay. Yeah.
You see it all the time. I've seen it lots, and I can't remember what book this comes from, but it's an old one. I know that. I recognize the font. Anyway, let's do it. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. how'd you get along that time at that speed? Was it okay? Oh, good. That's great. Okay, now let's pick something slow. So I'd like to try that again next week. I'd like to try to get a little quicker on it, maybe. And for now, let's try a little bit of... Where is it now? You know what we haven't done for a while? Let's see if it's the right key. Oh, no, it's not. Laddie with the Platty I'd like to work on next time. Let's see here. Ooh, let's do Hector the Hero. There's really no better practice in the key of A than Hector the Hero for a slow tune anyway. Lots of C sharps. Hector the Hero. I'm going to have to look that up now and see who Hector was, the hero of deathless fame, will never come back again. A wail for the mighty in battle, loud in the Coronaf, I don't know that strain. For Hector, the hero of deathless fame, will never come back again. Oh, I'm gonna have to find out who this guy is. Okay, like I said, this is a hard one because of those C sharps. So take this opportunity to tune them, and I'll make sure that I'm bang on with them. Okay? No rush. Ready, go. One more time with feeling. All right, how is Hector? Did he make it through the battle?
There's some grace notes there, and they seem to be all A's. That
There's some C sharps.
yeah. So do we play those
You
or?
can, of course, and if you did play them, you would play them in one bow. So I'll show you what that looks like. Now you might notice that in each case, the grace note is actually the same note as the note previous to it. Do you see that? And that means you're just kind of leaning into it. Just kind of delaying it a little bit. See that? Like your bow is lazy. And that one there is two notes. 1, 3, 2. It's kind of nice. And then that's a hard one. And then it also has. And then that's the 1, 3, 2. And again in one bow. That's a tough one. Same thing there. 0, 2, 1. There's a written in double stop there. Rare, but it's there. And that's the open A and the E1. So that's again open to 1. And then in the second part, it gets a little fancier. Or the third part. Yeah, so. Comes from above this time. And that's how you would do that. So in each case, make sure you do them in the one bow. And it's nice. It's really nice to do. And then next week, what we'll do next week with it is to try a couple of double stops. Because it's kind of crying out for the double stops in this tune. And also we're going to work on those jigs again. We're going to see if we can get them a little bit faster and a little bit stronger. And for the most part, work on the old double stops and the intonation in the key of A. All right, guys? Good work. We'll see you next week. Bye.